Welcome friends to the 2027 Lexus ES. The ES got its full redesign for the 2026 model year, and in 2027, the vehicle is pretty much unchanged aside from a subtle price hike. And for this new generation, of course, there is no naturally aspirated V6 engine. We only have a hybrid model known as the ES 350h, and then we have the pure electric models, which the pure EVs, that's new for this 8th generation of the ES. And we have the entry-level ES 350e, and we have the ES 500e electric. The pure EVs get a price increase of $110, and the hybrid models, they have a price increase of $105 across the board. Front-wheel drive comes as standard, but you can pay an additional amount of money to get all-wheel drive. And if you stay tuned until the end of this video, I can share with you how you can save a substantial amount of money on new Lexus vehicles. However, not so much on the ES, and I'll get to why in a moment, but let's go through some of the highlights regarding this ES. So regarding the hybrids, they come with the 6th generation of the hybrid system. We have new exterior styling, of course. Front-wheel drive versions of the hybrid can get 46 mpgs combined, and both the front-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive hybrids deliver 244 horsepower. The 8th generation, it's going to be much larger than the previous generation ES, and that's primarily because the LS, the flagship, has also been discontinued. So this new ES is pretty much trying to fill the spot of the LS as well, kind of. But something else to note, we do have a higher seating position in this new generation ES, which is impressive because even the previous gen I thought had a decent ride height. It was pretty easy to get in and out of, unlike some other sedans, so this is just even easier now. Comes standard with the 14-inch infotainment screen, along with the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. The new ES lineup has the Lexus Safety System 4.0 Plus. Even the 3.0 worked rather well. I was pretty impressed with the Lexus safety tech, but these 2027s, they should be arriving at dealerships in the September of 2026. And I will be having this full official Lexus press release on the screen for you to check out. That way you will know everything there is to know regarding this new ES. I also covered much of this in my 2026 video as well. So I'll just go through some of the highlights of what makes this new generation ES different and worth looking into. But before all that, comment below, let me know your thoughts regarding the looks of this new generation ES. In my previous 2026 video, almost everyone was just roasting this ES. They said they hated the way that it looks. They said that Lexus has lost their way. Whenever new cars come out, I don't actually really roast any of them. To be honest, when this new ES came out, I personally liked it. I thought it was clean. I think it looks on brand. Looks very similar to the other Toyota Lexus products. Nothing really wrong with it. The rear end actually looks phenomenal. The only thing I'm not really sold on, it's going to be that hockey stick design on the side. But even that, I get it. They're trying to be different. They're trying to stand out. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it would also be nice if they can offer a color matched side, but whatever. So we have this very loud minority, and then we have the silent majority who don't really drop comments, but instead they speak with their wallets and buy up every new car. Like that BMW X5 that dropped. Yeah, that's gonna sell like absolute hotcakes for sure. Happens every time. In fact, I'm not even able to test drive one of these ES models at my local dealership. Every time they get one, it just sells immediately. So now I'm just waiting on Lexus to send me one to review. So that's frustrating, but it kind of paints the picture. This is brilliant. This is actually delivering everything that a Lexus buyer wants, which is what? Efficiency, reliability. These vehicles are actually made in Japan now. The previous generation, it was made in Kentucky, which is fine. I don't personally put too much stock behind where a vehicle is built. The US and Canada made Lexus products still felt solid and robust, but for those who care, these new generation ES vehicles, they are made in Japan. And also it's spacious, and Lexus delivers comfort. Essentially all the things that a luxury buyer cares about. The enthusiast wants rear-wheel drive V8s, V10s, and then when the company actually produces those things, nobody buys it. So that's comical. My beloved LC is of course gone. When I had one, nobody cared, nobody wanted it. The price didn't really go up during the pandemic days. Of course, now that it's been discontinued, the price goes up. Anyway, I digress. Regarding this new ES, it's built on the TNGA-K platform. Regarding the hybrid models, the battery is going to sit beneath the rear seats. If you go with one of the EVs, the 350e or the 500e, they are both going to utilize the 74.7 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. The 350e electric produces 221 horsepower. The ES 500e produces 338 horsepower. Pure EVs can charge from 10 to 80% using a DC fast charger in 28 minutes. That's pretty slow, to be honest. 18 to 20 minutes would have been ideal. A front-wheel drive ES350e is going to be doing 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds. The ES500e will be doing 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. More than enough for the average Lexus buyer. Heck, forget Lexus. I see new Porsche 911s running around, and even they are doing like 10 under the speed limit, which is just madness. You got one of the most capable cars on the planet and they're doing absolutely nothing with it. But regardless, these ES vehicles, they have a very low coefficient of drag. The range on these pure EV models of the ES, it's going to be about 292 to 307 miles. For the 350e, the larger wheels, they're going to get you less range. And the ES500e, it's going to range between 272 to 276 miles of range. More importantly though, it's the size of this ES that's going to make it a good value proposition for most individuals who are actually in the market for these. We have a 3.1 inch longer wheelbase. The overall width has increased by 2.2 inches. The total length of this car, it is now 6.5 inches longer than the previous generation. Total length of this car, it's 202.4 inches. Yeah, that's huge. The previous LS500 flagship sedan was 206.1 inches long. So this is now right up there. And the height has also increased by 4.5 inches. So yeah, much more spacious vehicle than before. Again, you have the big screens as standard. We also have the wireless Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto. The standard audio system, it's going to be a 10 speaker audio system, and the Premium Plus models will be coming with the 17 speaker Mark Levinson audio with 1800 watts. ML audio system, always been one of the best. If you love your music, I would definitely recommend getting that. Again, regarding the regular hybrids, we do have here more power than the previous generation ES300H hybrid, which had 215 horsepower. This new 350H has 244. Even with the previous generation ES, which was one of my most favorite new luxury cars on the market, I like the V6, of course. However, even with that generation, I also really liked the ES300H. It was still really quiet and never really took away from the character of the ES. So on paper, that 215 horsepower doesn't sound that great, but it motivated the ES just fine. We had that good initial torque off the line, so the ES always felt effortless in city driving. So even with that previous generation, I kind of did recommend the hybrid more. Now the hybrid is all you have to choose from, but at least now it makes even more power. The previous generation hybrid, and really the ES in general, was not available with all-wheel drive, aside from an NA 4-cylinder ES250, which nobody wanted. But now, of course, this new gen hybrid is available with all-wheel drive, and in general, the curb weight has definitely gone up compared to the previous gen ES300H. Previous model weighed 3,730 pounds. A new front-wheel drive is going to weigh 4,001 pounds, and the all-wheel drive, 4,134 pounds. So definitely a weight increase, but that's to be expected, especially with the larger size. Lexus claims to have focused on the refinement of this drivetrain. So we do have a larger and more powerful electric motor than before, keeping the engine revs lower and quieter during everyday operation. We also have a microfiber sound absorbing material that's been added to the engine's air intake box as well. And the exhaust system has a larger muffler to further quiet the engine. We also have that active noise control technology in the cabin. So it's going to produce counter frequencies through the audio speaker to suppress the engine booming sensations. The 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that they're using, it gets an increased block rigidity as well as a new multi-hole direct fuel injector. There's also more updates to improve the cooling and the fuel efficiency as well. And as mentioned before, I can have the full official press release along with the spec sheets on the screen for you to check out for both the hybrid and the pure EV models. I'll be sure to do a full review of this soon, but for those who are actually in the market for a vehicle like this, comment below, let me know your thoughts. Also, are you cross-shopping this with the already excellent Toyota Crown sedan? That's another vehicle I really like. It does seem like this new ES is going to be even more spacious, of course, and even quieter, and definitely a better audio system as well. So yeah, I do think that it's going to be worth the premium, but the Toyota Crown is a rather heavily discounted vehicle. But to hate this car, yeah, that's kind of absurd. There's really nothing to hate here. And the other thing is, I do understand that like over half of the online comments are actually just coming from bots who are there to pretty much sow discord and strife in the comments, which in a weird, messed up way, it is actually benefiting the content creator because you just get more comments flooding in and you have people just going back and forth with those bots. And that's why they leave overly negative comments. It's to initiate that classic discussion that they know is going to happen. But aside from all that nonsense, that's pretty much everything you need to know regarding this new 2027 ES. Again, no new changes, so don't fall for any AI generated content with some crazy concept car looking art. Please do not fall for those types of videos. Everything on my channel is going to be direct from the manufacturer themselves. And since you made it to the end of this video, I have a resource to share with you to help you save a substantial amount of money off of new Lexus vehicles. You can reach out to AutoCompanion, who is one of the largest car advocate services in the entire country. On most models, they have between 8 to 10% off the MSRP, especially on the core Lexus vehicles like the SUVs, the NX, the RX, and even the TX. However, with the new ES, AutoCompanion only has 3% off the sticker price. Yeah, people just really want them. It's the new body style. People appreciate the size and the efficiency and the easy to enter ride height. Yeah, that's what the real world actually wants and appreciates. So there is that. But keep in mind the discounts that you see, that's before the incentives. So things like your lease cash, your loyalty, conquest, military, all of those manufacturer incentives are going to stack on top of AutoCompanion's dealer discounts. And AutoCompanion also represents other makes and models as well, like BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Porsche, Volvo, and more, all with around 10 to 12% off the sticker price plus rebates and incentives. These are truly some of the best new luxury car prices in the entire country. Their dealerships are primarily located in Washington, D.C. and in California. They also offer nationwide shipping. I've had 2 vehicles shipped, never had an issue, but you can also pick up in DC and in California to save on that shipping cost. Now, to access these deals, AutoCompanion does charge a concierge fee. If you mention my channel, I will be compensated, but AutoCompanion will also take $50 off of their fee when you mention my channel. And I really appreciate them doing that for my audience, because this is truly the most stress-free way of buying a new vehicle. You don't have to play with any of the dealership shenanigans or pay any of their additional nitrogen fees, tint fees, or dealer add-ons. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's always a clean, elegant process working with AutoCompanion and its partner dealers. So all of their information, along with their free leasing calculator, will be linked in the description box of this video. If you found value with this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.